Hi everyone. I just want to have another video today. Today is February the 18th, 2019. It is the my third year anniversary of my stroke. It's been 3 years since I had my stroke today. I'd like to talk about it. I haven't talked about it in a year. Um, Things have changed a little bit. I'm feeling more optimistic than I was, say, a year ago. I feel a little bit more optimistic about things. I would like to talk about last video was bad. That had bad audio, so you couldn't hear me very well about how my stroke happened and what happened that day. Um, so what happened was 3 years ago today, I was a truck driver. I drove 18 wheelers. I was working for a company called Easy Stones. I was on my way to Savannah to the port, pick up a container, and I was on my way down the interstate on Interstate 16 past Macon, probably about 15-20 minutes south of Macon. As I was driving down the interstate, I could feel some tingling in my face, some numbness in my face. I had not felt that before. I knew from previous commercials and PA announcements about symptoms of a stroke. I kind of thought I was having a heart attack at the time because my arms went numb like right afterwards, like immediately. So I pulled over. Thank God. Luckily, I pulled over just in time. Pulled over to an exit, like the first exit that I saw off the interstate, onto the side of the exit. It was kind of far out, like in the country, so there wasn't a whole lot of people out there, but it was during the day, so luckily it was daytime. It was probably like noon, maybe 1 o'clock. I was panicking a little bit, but managed to call 911, kind of tell them where I was at before I fell, because I was trying to walk, and I fell out on the right there in front of my truck on the side of the road. I couldn't move my left arm. I was completely paralyzed on the left side, and I was rolling around on the ground, not really rolling, more like just kind of moving back and forth, trying to roll, but I couldn't get up. Trying to get up, I couldn't move my left arm, and I was kind of freaking out. Luckily, these two men stopped, two guys. I don't know, they were young. I really don't remember that well what they looked like, because they just asked me, "Are you okay?" And I said, "No, I think I'm having a stroke." And they got out of the car and they were like, "Oh man, you need to get out of the road." So they picked me up out of the road, and they called 911. I had already called 911, but they called 911 again. I guess gave them the exact location where I was, and then a state trooper showed up, and then he, radioed someone, and then the ambulance came, and they asked me, what's wrong. I told them what I thought was going on. And by that time, I was kind of incoherent, just kind of out of it at that point. I was pretty much out of it. But I got to the hospital. Luckily, got there within an hour of having the stroke, which is like the key thing. My blood pressure was like 250 over 150, which is extremely high. I had a hemorrhage in my brain. In my right side of my brain, in my thalamus, which is deep in the brain, right above your brain stem, above your spine. It's deep inside the brain. So evidently, I had an artery that busted, which filled blood all through my brain, which caused my brain to swell, and my left side, because the right side of your brain is affected, the left side of your body is affected. So I went blind in my left eye for a while, and I couldn't see in my left eye. I couldn't move. I didn't even feel my whole left side, like it didn't exist. I remember a little bit more than I did, say, a year or two ago about what happened. I don't know why that is. For a while, I couldn't remember anything. But I remember being in the hospital. I remember them giving me a CAT scan and telling me, yeah, you have blood in your brain. You had a hemorrhage. And I was like, wow. So they gave me medicine to lower my blood pressure. And that helped a lot. They said that was the main thing they put me in ICU. The main thing they needed to do was keep my blood pressure down. So they were able to get it down, and I was in ICU for, I don't know, it was a Thursday that I had my stroke. And I remember waking up like on Sunday or Saturday, just kind of like out of it, like, where am I? What am I doing here? And how long have I been here? I asked the nurse, how long have I been here? And she didn't say anything. And it was strange, you know. By Tuesday, I was in a rehab center, like 2 days later. I was in a rehab center doing physical therapy all day long, speech therapy all day long, and occupational therapy. And it was rough. Well, the first week, I had a catheter, and that catheter gave me an infection, a UTI, which then turned into sepsis called urosepsis. So they dropped me at the rehabilitation hospital on Tuesday. By Sunday, I was back at the emergency room because I had a fever of 106. And I had sepsis. So they put me back in the hospital. I almost died that night too because I was really sick. I was shivering. I had 106 degree fever. And the nurse was like telling me she was terrified the next day when I finally came through. They gave me some antibiotics, some really strong antibiotics, IV, which was good. I needed that. I probably wouldn't have made it another night if they hadn't given me the IV that night. So, so I was really weak the next day. My blood pressure went down. That's what happens with sepsis, is your blood pressure drops, that your organs fail. So they didn't give me my blood pressure medicine the next day, and so to make sure I don't die. So, and for like a whole week I didn't eat. I didn't eat the whole week. I lost like 10 pounds in 1 week. It was crazy. And then they finally sent me back to the rehabilitation center, like on Saturday. So I spent a week again in the hospital. I got back to the rehabilitation center, started back over the rehabilitation from scratch because I lost whatever I gained. I lost it again. I was in the hospital for about a month. Went in February 18th. Came out of the rehabilitation hospital. March 19th. So a month and 1 day in the hospital. And here I am, still alive 3 years later. I'm kind of surprised. I didn't expect to live this long. I was looking at data on people who had strokes. Usually don't live within the first 2 or 3 years. So I've been lucky. I take my medicine every day religiously. I don't mess around with that anymore. Trying to lose weight, trying to walk a mile every day, and I hope to see you again next year on my 4th year anniversary of my stroke. And update. Yeah, I mean, I've gained some strength on my left arm, and It's not, I still have the burning sensation and the tightness and that, but it comes and goes. Like some days it's worse than others, but I can't complain. Could be a lot worse than what I have right now. So I'm happy with that. I feel like I'm progressing. I kind of feel like I progressed a lot, but I'm kind of in that plateau stage where it's going to be 4 or 5 years before I feel like I'm 100% again. But I'm willing to wait that long. I'm fine with that. I'm 44. I'm going to be 45 next month. And I'm pretty optimistic. All right. And have a good day. Hope to see you again 2020 on my 4th year anniversary of my stroke. Bye.